You are now listening to the sounds of Beat Miners Radio, your favorite radio station. www.beatminersradio.com.
Retired Sergeant Lacy Davis, founder of Black Cops Against Police Brutality, author of Black Cops Against Police Brutality, a crisis action plan. 20 years of service on the East Orange, New Jersey Police Department, hostage negotiator, community policing expert, community police consultant, experience with community police conflicts in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Timothy Thomas situation, killing over traffic ticket warrants, Malik Jones, killing in New Haven, Connecticut, shot 19 times, Danette Strawberry Daniels, shot and killed in Newark, New Jersey while handcuffed in a police car. Just some of the few situations that he's dealt with hands-on. DeLacy, I met you in the activist world while you were still a police officer.
Yes, sir.
And when I was first introduced to you, you know, I gotta be honest, I was like a little skeptical, like, all right, you got a police officer gonna speak out against police brutality? Really, how he gonna do that?
Right.
But quickly seeing your work and how you get down, and then knowing you for the last 20 some odd years, there's not too many folks out there better with dealing with police brutality issues. The siege that so many police departments have against the communities they're supposed to be protecting. You also teach sociology, or you teach a sociology class for police officers, true?
Well, for the community, the police role in the community.
There's a lot of misunderstanding as to what the police are, who the police are, and what role they are to serve. A lot of us think that they're here to serve and protect the people. There's a flip side of the argument, which is they're here to serve and protect private property. And their behavior, a lot of the times, is born out of this misunderstanding. Can you elaborate on that or clear that up?
Yeah, so certainly the rhetoric around law enforcement is that the police are here to serve and protect. And there's no doubt that police have demonstrated a propensity and a desire to serve and protect property, powerful people, and institutions. We can't deny that. We don't see the first black police in America until 1805 in Louisiana. And so certainly they had policing for quite some time, and Sir Robert Peel out of London, England, sets the model for this country. That being said, I think that we've had a couple of deficiencies, breakdowns, and we still have the vestiges of slavery. And as a result of those vestiges, we see policing morphing into something that kills black and brown and even poor white people randomly whenever it desires. And then it morphs into protecting itself, because that's some of what bureaucracies do. What you've heard me say, and I maintain over the last 20 years, is that the organizational culture of law enforcement is white male dominated, racist, sexist, homophobic, and then you might find a good cop. Now, I list all of those isms is because you talking about people protecting and serving a community in the midst of all of that. So how do I come on the force? I've never been a racist. I've never hated myself. I've never done anything to harm anyone. And all of a sudden, I'm in an institution that does that in terms of its culture. And you want me to step out on faith and speak up.
Wow.
Well, that's problematic. And what's problematic is problematic on both the institution side as well as the community side. As you know, and I've been fortunate, you and I have a 20-plus year relationship, but you said honestly, you were suspect. Ras Baraka, who I started with Black Neoforce in his basement, when I went there for the first meeting, they searched me. They told me you can't bring your gun in, you can't bring your badge in. They put me on one leg and said, if you come off the leg while we're searching, we're gonna beat you down. Put me on the next leg. If you come off that leg, we're gonna beat you down. And I tell people that was one of the most humbling experiences of my life. Because up until that time, as a young, confused officer who was seeking knowledge, and they gave me that opportunity, I didn't understand. I didn't understand the dynamic now that I've lived, and as you've accurately articulated, that I've experienced all around this country. And as I was saying to the brothers outside the studio, every time I see this experience, it's black and brown people generally who are being beat down, choked down, killed, and maimed by law enforcement. But there are even white folks who suffer at the hands of police, not at the same rate, but they also won't come forward. Because we've had some white families call us.
And that's a very dynamic perspective, right? Because when we think of police brutality, it's usually around race.
Right.
White officers or black officers against the black community.
Yes.
Right? And I've struggled to find an instance of police brutality where the officers were black and the victim was white.
So around 2002, Hawthorne, California, Michael William Arnold, a white male, affluent white male with some mental challenges, was having a reaction to a psychotropic drug that was changed on him, and he believed he was under attack. He had a BB gun. He pulls over the side of the road on the highway. He's shooting at the police chopper. He's trying to get help. The police see him. They see him shooting. There is no muzzle flash. They go on the speaker. They talk him back into his car. They talk him off the highway into an area where they shut down the power grid, and 28 different officers of all different races are waiting for him. And when he when he pulls over and gets out of the car, they open fire. He's shot 106 times by the police. Killed.
Whoa.
Now, our organization handled that. Not only did you not hear it here when it occurred, but we had to because it wasn't newsworthy. He was white, he was
white.
affluent, he was male, he had a mental challenge, and they gunned him. And we had bullet holes through the palms of his hand. We had bullet holes in the base of his feet. And so it could not have been the story that they claimed that he had a gun pointed at them, because you wouldn't have been able to get the bullet through the palm of the hand. So, and then by the time there were investigators there, the police had already washed the blood down off the street into the sewer. They got in the fire department to hose it all down. And so those are some of the few, and those are rare instances. But they happen.
But they exist.
You are now listening to the sounds of Beat Miners Radio, your favorite radio station. www.beatminersradio.com.